One of the harshest environments that a machine and its operator can work in is a landfill. That's why daily waste machine walk-around inspections are a critical part of waste operations. Thorough inspections can make a big difference in productivity, efficiency, and loss of compaction. Knowing what to look for and how to look for it is essential in practicing good walk-around inspection techniques for various models of waste machines. Most of you have checklists that you need to complete during your daily walk-around inspections. We encourage your continued use and support of these company checklists. This video will focus on those special areas of waste machines, in addition to those covered in the Operation and Maintenance Manual. All operators of landfill equipment can benefit from these walk-around inspection techniques. Proper daily walk-around inspections are critical to safety, machine availability, and production. It's important to remember, when performing this inspection, how you look at the machine is just as critical as what you look at on the machine. Here is the basic 4-step process for performing your daily walk-around inspection. As you approach the machine, visually check not only the total machine, but also the environment in which it is sitting. Normally, most operators start where they get on the piece of equipment, so they don't have to retrace any steps. Place any thermos, lunchbox, or personal items on the track or area where you will mount the machine. This will help you keep your hands free when mounting. Perform the same walk-around every day. By starting at the same place and making the walk-around a routine, it will be easier to spot anything out of the ordinary. As you walk around the machine, take time to look at all parts of the area in front of you. This means looking up, down, under, and all around the iron. You might wonder why it's necessary to look up at those areas that you will be checking once you mount the machine. But from this angle, you might spot something you couldn't once you're on the iron. Remember, when you have the space, step back away from the machine and walk in toward it, visually inspecting all areas. This last step may be the most important one. By writing down and verbally communicating any problems with the machine, you have taken proper responsibility for it. Good communication protects you from getting the blame for a problem you didn't create. When should you perform these inspections? Minimally 3 times during the day, beginning of the shift, the end of your shift, and any time you step off the machine. Again, these repeated inspections protect you, the machine, and the people with whom you're working. Before we get into those critical areas on the machine inspections, always remember, keep safety in mind at all times. Check all fluid levels, and always refer to the O&M manuals for questions about proper operation and maintenance. Now, let's begin with a walk-around inspection of the critical areas on the landfill compactor. Look closely at the left side where you will mount the machine. Pay particular attention to the grab irons and the steps. Look for any damage or anything that might present a potential safety problem. While standing behind the machine, take a look from top to bottom, starting with the cab. Take a close look at the radiator. Look for leaks or damage. And look under the machine for damaged or loose belly guards. Check out the wheels and axles for damage or any material caught in these areas. Examine the inside of the wheels for wire, banding, anything small enough to penetrate the seals. Move to the right rear of the machine and again take a look at the grab irons and steps. Check the striker bars. Also look between the wheel and frame. On the wheel, check the drum, tips, and look closely for loose lug nuts. Now focus on the right center of the machine. Look at the cab, platform, hydraulic tank guard, again for any damage or loose parts. Look closely at the articulation area. Can you see any leaks or damage to the hoses, pins, the steering cylinders, or the articulation joint? Is the wear bar still protecting the bottom articulation joint? Also, look inside the front frame area, under the machine. You will be able to see the inside of both wheels on opposite sides, both axles, and the guarding underneath. Also check the axle and differential bolts, along with the belly pan bolts. Next, move to the right front of the compactor. Look at the striker bar and between the frame and wheel. Again, examine the front wheel, just as you did the rear. Look at the back of the rack and blade area and the blade arms. Are there any cracks or damage here? Keep an eye on the hydraulic hoses inside the frame area. Are there any leaks here, damage, or material buildup? Look at where the blade attaches to the frame. Are any pins loose? Now, walk directly in front of the machine. Look at the trash rack, the blade, and the cutting edges. Is there damage of any kind or material buildup? Visually inspect the left side as you did the right, looking for any problem areas. Note the fluid levels on the fuel and transmission checkpoints. Now you're ready to mount the machine. Remember, always face the machine when you're ready to climb on. Use 3 points of contact and keep your hands free. Before getting in the cab, check the coolers and radiator for any debris or plugging. Visually scan the hood area and pre-cleaner. And in dusty conditions, check the air filter indicator often. Be sure to look inside the engine enclosures for anything that might start a fire. Also, clean your windows and mirrors for proper visibility. Let's look at the critical inspection areas for the track-type tractor. You will want to begin your inspection on the side of the machine where you would normally mount, left or right. As you approach the tractor, look at the total machine. Look at the grab irons and steps and track adjustment. Pay particular attention to the roller frame, pivot shaft, final drives, idlers, and their respective guards. Clean these areas and guards according to conditions and as needed. It is critical to closely examine the bogies or rollers for any leaks and or material buildup. Examine the sprockets, outside finals, and track grousers. Is there any material buildup, damage, or leaks of any kind? Is the track too tight? Now look at the blade arms and trunnions. Are the bolts loose? As you look over the entire undercarriage, it is important to spot any wire, banding, or debris that could cause damage. Look for metal between the pins that might cause the sprocket to jump. Walk to the rear of the machine. Starting at the top, notice the AC condenser, cab, fuel tank guards, striker bar box, and the striker bar. Also look under the machine for leaks, damage, or any loose parts. Are the belly guards tight and in place? Are there any leaks on the rollers? Next, walk to the right side of the machine and repeat your inspection. As you move to the opposite side, keep an eye on the hydraulic tank guard, rollover protection system or ROPS, the cab, engine enclosures, and the front striker bar. Do you see anything unusual? Anything that could cause a potential problem? Here, you're in position to inspect the back of the blade. Are there any cracks or damage? Look at the tag link, cylinders, and radiator guards for any loose parts or damage. Now walk to the front of the tractor. Start at the top of the machine. The cab, lights, cylinders, rack, the cutting edge. Do you see any damage or loose parts? Inspect the left front side of the tractor, just as you did the right. After you've completed the other side, prepare to mount the machine. First, make sure you are facing the machine at all times. Use 3 points of contact and keep your hands free. Once you are on the tractor, inspect the engine enclosures, the top hood area, pre-cleaner, and the cab. Look inside the engine compartment for debris or anything that could potentially cause a fire. We'll start on the left side of the track-type loader to inspect this machine's critical areas. Look over the entire machine and work area as you approach. Look at the cab as well as the entire side of the machine and the track area. Do there appear to be any problems or damage? Is the track too loose or too tight? Examine the roller frame, carrier rollers, the sprocket, and final drive area. Keep an eye out for any leaks, damage, or material buildup. As you move toward the left front of the machine, look between the track and frame for material and damage around the equalizer bar, lift cylinder, hoses, and front idler area. Also, check the bucket hinge pins and bucket linkage. Now walk around to the front of the track loader. Inspect the machine from top on down, starting with the overall cab. Is the bucket ready for new cutting edges and teeth? Again, keep an eye out for any damage, leaks, material buildup, anything that might cause problems during your shift. Look at the front loader area. Examine all of the cylinders, their respective guards, hydraulic guard, the trash rack, and bucket. If you are using a multi-purpose bucket, check for damage and leaks on the cylinders and hoses. Look at the back of the bucket and rack. Look over the loader linkage and front guard area. Now you are ready to move to the opposite side of the machine. Perform your inspection exactly as you did on the first side. Don't forget to check the hydraulic fluid and fuel fill in the front frame area. Also, it is critical that you check the air filter indicator more than once a day. Move toward the rear of the machine. You will want to look over the upper cab, air conditioning, and engine cowling area. Open the radiator guards to check the radiator for any debris, plugging, or leaks. Look under the machine. From this vantage point, you should be able to see all of the guards, the inside roller frames, final drives, and rollers. Make sure there are no leaks or damage, and check for any loose or damaged belly guards. Check for material buildup, which could cause roller frame damage, tight track, or idler and roller problems in the future. Complete your walk-around inspection by checking the top rear engine and pre-cleaner area. The coolant check is found in this upper area of the machine. Whether you are performing a walk-around inspection on the track-type loader, track-type tractor, or landfill compactor, remember, you are protecting yourself, the machine, and the people you work with on a daily basis. Take the time to do it right.